Hello, my beautiful friends. Today, I'm going to be talking about, is this true love or a trauma bond? Watch this video. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, I'm actually redoing a video that I created last week. And I always think to myself, when something happens and it doesn't upload properly, it's because there's something I need to add. There's something I need to say in a different way, or it needs to be done again. And so today is that day. And also when I make videos, I don't plan what I'm going to say. I just push play and it comes out. I know the subject and I let it flow. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. The subject, though, is something really important that a lot of people ask me about all the time. In fact, I was stuck in this many years ago. And the question is this true love or a trauma bond? Now, before I go into it, I have to mention my emotional rehab course that is dealing with all of this is launching right now. Class will start May 1st. Right now is the discount until May 1st. So if you're thinking about healing inner child wounds, emotional wounds that have almost everything to do with our relationship dynamics, please check the link below. Also, if you are someone who's been in a narcissistic relationship where you find yourself to be highly sensitive or have just dealt with dynamics you want to heal, check out my monthly membership, the Truth Room Tribe. We meet every single Friday. That's what I'm pointing to, the link. We meet every single Friday from around the world, and there's over 2 years of content in there for you. So check that out as well if you want a community. So with that said, let's jump in. What the heck is trauma bonding? So here's one thing that is really tough when we talk about this subject. If you're somebody who was born into a dysfunctional family, or a family that had toxic dynamics, or a family that you just didn't feel emotionally mirrored by, or a family that had a narcissistic parent or an emotionally unavailable parent, or like most people in the world, someone in your family that wasn't emotionally intelligent, then you probably fit into this category where you've had some kind of trauma bonding. And what that looks like is your emotional imprint that happens before the age of 8 is what feels like home to you. It feels like home because it is what is familiar. So when you're bonding with people that have the same trauma that might actually be represented in a different way, what you're trying to do is feel home. You're trying to feel familiarity. You're trying to feel complete. You're trying to feel comfort. You're trying to feel safe. And oftentimes these people that we think are our soulmates, that's the first sign. Double check it. Wait. Doesn't mean run right away. It means look to see what the patterns are going to be. Look to see if some inner child unmet emotional needs come to the surface. If there's some push-pull going on. If there's some uncertainty in the relationship. He doesn't text me as much as I text him. I'm uncertain about how he's feeling. I'm walking on eggshells. One day I feel like he loves me. The next day I don't. I don't really know what he's doing right now. Those types of things are things to double check and look into, because they probably are going to pick and pull at those childhood unresolved issues that have something to do with abandonment or rejection or not being seen or not feeling like you matter. So this is when we know we could be entering a trauma bond. It might be really intense at the beginning. It's almost like that drug that you're finally getting, that you're getting the relief from that withdrawal feeling, and it's that drug that's really masking those emotional wounds that so many people live with for years and years and years because they don't want to go into it. I get it. But what happens in a trauma bond is if both people are not doing the inner work, it's not going to work. And if one person's doing the inner work, it's not going to last. Both people have to be doing the inner work on themselves, on their own wounds. And oftentimes when we have inner child wounds, we pick a partner that we can put all of our attention on so we can divert our own inner work because it's too painful and we want to pretend we don't need to do it. Because everything's good when I focus on you. No, what you're doing is you're delaying the pain. You're delaying the process. You're delaying the pattern. So what real love, so here's another question a lot of my clients always ask me is, I don't even know what healthy looks like. If you come from one of these types of homes, you don't know sometimes. What healthy feels like is certainty, comfort. It can still be exciting and, passionate and electric at the beginning, but it's not followed by trauma or drama. It's not followed by a cycle that goes downward. See, here's the thing. When we have these exciting relationships that are trauma bonds, it can be like a fantasy at the beginning. See, the inner child that isn't healed goes after fantasy because we need someone to save us from our pain. And usually they save us because they're either a Band-Aid, or they're that familiar feeling, or we don't have to worry about certain things because they're taking up so much of our time that we can deny our own needs. But what ultimately happens is we come back to this wound because it cannot ever heal from out there. It must heal from in here. Now, if it's a healthy relationship, you'll have those sparks and those butterflies, but it won't feel like a drug. It will actually feel like maybe a little bit of a chemical drug at the beginning, but as that starts to wear off, it will feel certain. You will know how they feel about you. You will be building trust as you go. You will have transparency. You will have equal power in the relationship where you know your role and you're certain of the identity you have in this relationship and vice versa. You know who this person is and you trust that what they say is what they'll do. There is a piece of certainty and inner peace that comes with healthy relationships that starts to just feel comfortable, but it won't feel comfortable or content if you haven't done the inner work. It will actually feel uncomfortable because you're used to some of the drama and you're used to the constant push-pull to know that you're loved, to know that you're needed, to know where you stand because that's what you're used to. Sounds cuckoo, right? But it is the reality and you know it if you're watching this video. So the first thing I want you to check out is, what would I need to feel safe and secure? Do I have that in this situation? If not, am I blaming myself for it? If I'm blaming myself for it, what have I made my fault? If I stop doing those things and do other things, do I think the dynamic will actually change? Because here's the other thing in a toxic dynamic is no matter what you do, it's not going to fix the problem because the problem is never fully you. And that's one of the things especially highly sensitive people get wrong is we think, oh, it must be me, I'm doing something wrong. No, the self-blame is actually the wrong part. Highly sensitive people usually take on too much blame, and the opposite type of person takes on too little. So what we have to understand is we are attracting from the point of our wounding. We must dig in and do the deeper work, which means healing those unmet needs in a new way. Seeing our relationship dynamics in a different dynamic by setting new boundaries. Now, here's the thing I will also say. Many people come to me often and say, once I'm healed, I won't attract these types of relationships. I said, that's not true. Once you're healed, you have the boundaries and the discernment to know the difference and choose again. You'll choose in alignment with the true confidence that you have now that you're anchored in self and not in the other. That is what changes. Sure, we attract less people who are maybe wounded like we were because it no longer is a fit, but we also are human and wounded people are everywhere. We're all wounded at some level until we're totally healed. And so what we have to do is just see through the healed eyes, not the wounded eyes, which is a whole category in my program called the counterintuitive way. When our perception must shift into alignment with our healing rather than our wounding so we can start having the proper boundaries that we deserve and the discernment as we learn that we are undeserving. So I encourage you guys to keep going on this path, to check out the courses below that are incredibly helpful in this way. I am showing up every single week in the course as your guide. So please check it out. If you have questions, please comment below or send me a message on Instagram. You can DM me. And you guys, I love you so much and I hope you have an amazing week. I'll see you soon.